Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to talk about the special Fire Night tournament going on right here for the next couple days, where you can only use rare champions to clear the Fire Knight's castle. So I've got the team that I'm going to show you that I'm going to be using and the strategy that I'm going to be implementing to dive into this Fire Night tournament and at least scoop up some of these rewards. We'll talk about if it's worth it, if you should run it, some champions to consider. I'll show you my team. We'll talk about the different stages and all of the context around the rare only Fire Night tournament going on right now in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so there we go. First off, out the gate, there is going to be the too long didn't watch version. That is the team that I'm going to be using, the stats involved and all of that. So if that's all you're here for, enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe throw a subscribe and a like on the video on your way out, but that is going to be the quick, short version. Now I'll go into more detail about the team and the champions and the tournament and all of that stuff. So, okay, first of all, when we're looking at this Fire Night tournament, the priority is going to be the OLA Fusion starting in a couple days. So don't go crazy if you don't have a bunch of resources ready to rock for the OLA tournament. I would prioritize getting some of the potions you need. Like if you're broke on arcane potions and you're really sitting at the bare minimum on your account, I would probably let this Fire Night tournament go. So this is going to be only for more maybe the mid-game type of accounts that have a little bit of resources and some rare champions available to realistically put together a Fire Night team of rare champions semi-easily. And for those kind of people, I do think it's worth taking a look at because, you know, not all of you have wasted hundreds of dollars of XP banners like I did. So if you want to see that video and the full story around how I completely screwed myself out of XP banners, I'll try to remember to link it for you down below and all of that. But the short version is I wasted like a year worth of XP banners. So I'm always low on these things. So I actually value the 3-day XP banner right there. It does look like a 3-day one and not a 1-day one, so that's actually kind of important to me. But for some of you, I know you have like 50 weeks of XP banners, you don't really care, but you do get an ancient shard and some of the tougher to acquire awakening essence. I know that's a hot topic right now because they just nerfed the hell out of some of those 1-star really cool things that were in the game, like the brimstone. But anyway, I am in a position where I've got enough energy to at least scoop up the XP banner, the shard, and the essence, so I'm probably gonna go for it. And in terms of what stage to pick, that also is a little bit of a discussion. So a lot of times for these specialized tournaments, you don't have to feel bad about not getting to stage 24 or 25. Usually stage 20 is perfectly fine, and it's actually a little bit more efficient in terms of points acquired per energy spent. The tough part about stage 20 is going to be that it is force affinity, which is like the worst affinity that it could be, because a lot of your champions you want to use, Apothecary, Kale, Aethel with the triple hitter A1, and they're going to be getting hit very strong by the enemies, and they're also going to be hitting the enemies weak. So honestly, I'm probably going to run stage 19, even though it's not ideal, it's not perfect. I'm not going to be getting as good of gear drops in it, just in terms of getting those rewards and participating in the tournament. I'm probably going to go with stage 19, as I am it's much more realistic for me to get to that point without having to really go crazy. I kind of went the route of the path of least resistance. I'm just throwing champions I've already got built for other purposes, like I've got the Painkeeper Hill built for an unkillable composition in the Demon Lord, and I just threw her in there as is. I've got Cold Heart built for different things like the Spider. I threw her in there as is, and then I've got KO and War Maiden and Apothecary built for things like secret rooms, and I just threw them in there as is, and I'm gonna run the highest stage that I can with doing so. I don't think it's worth you know, spending millions of silver and ripping apart champions and trying to put together a roster for this. It's not like we have a void shard or a sacred shard up for grabs in the tournament. So I think it's best to just take the easiest path to clearing the stage that you can, which for me is going to be stage 19. And I do have a video here of my run. Actually, let me slide this over here so I am not in the way. There we go. But yeah, so This is a slightly sped up version of my run, but I'm able to do stage 19 in around a minute and a half. I was averaging like a minute 30 to a minute 45. It was pretty reliable and decently consistent, and I wasn't in a whole lot of risk of dying. I did a few runs here preparing for the video, and it was performing just fine. So you know, it's mostly going to be normal par for the course kind of stuff. You're looking to blast down the shield. Cold Heart is absolutely god tier because of Heart Seeker. I've got my Cold Heart in Reflex, and then also the Pain Keeper there to try and get that Heart Seeker off as fast as possible. My Cold Heart is around 220 speed, and it looks like it's enough to kind of suppress that turn meter there, with a Pain Keeper all the way up at 242 because of an unkillable composition. So that was kind of the team that I ran and what it looked like. About a minute and a half runs on stage 19. But now let's pop into the index and talk about some other champions to be on the lookout for that would excel in a tournament like this. And obviously the first one I want to talk about is going to be the Rare in the Night Revenant as Renegade. Now Renegade is probably even a little bit better than Painkeeper. I didn't have a Renegade kind of built and ready to rock, so I just kind of threw in Painkeeper and it ended up working. But I could probably get to like stage 23 to take advantage of another affinity. If I really want to take the time to min-max the team, I think Renegade would be a great option with the decreased cooldown here, and then also gets the decreased speed here, the multi-hitter A2. So Renegade is definitely an S tier champion for a rare only Fire Knight tournament. Then up in the Banner Lords, there is a Void Rare here called the Dagger, and Dagger can be a decent option here because you've got the decreased turn meter multi-hitter A1, and then you've also got the very reliable big version of Defense Break. So yeah, I think you know, Dagger could definitely provide a little bit of utility and maybe be just as good as War Maiden, slightly better. A multi-hitter A1 with turn meter suppression is absolutely great for the Fire Knight, so consider Dagger as a Defense Break option as well. And obviously, I mean, you saw them in my team, but I don't really need to go over the champions like Apothecary and Kale and Cold Heart. They are going to be great options for this tournament, and you already know that from seeing my team. But I just wanted to at least mention it here while we're in the index, because those champions like Apothecary, Cold Heart are going to be S tier for this tournament as well. But Apothecary isn't the only high elf to consider. Some of you may have an Heiress built. She's a pretty popular one for people to get built because she is farmable in the campaign, and she's also pretty good endgame in some Demon Lord compositions. And Heiress does have an A2 that is going to do a cleanse and then also place the big version of increased speed, which is pretty handy. But Heiress has a passive here that is going to counterattack whenever an ally is attacked, which could help you with keeping the shield down possibly in some compositions, and also has a speed aura in dungeons, which is kind of tough to find in a tournament like this. Then in the Sacred Order, Aethel is a starting champion that a lot of people may have built and is really good for a Fire Knight tournament like this because of the triple hitter A1 that places a weaken. So going to be very reliable shield break, and also getting the big version of a weaken is going to be probably a tough role to fill in this tournament. And in the Demon Spawn, our boy Fellhound, that some of you may have for a campaign farmer, also gets a little bit of attention when it comes to early night, kind of random Fire Knight stuff, because he does have the ability to do the reflect damage on all allies, which can help for breaking that shield and being able to proc some extra hits on that shield mechanic. Also, don't forget about our boy Bellower. He's just so good in basically any rare only tournament because he brings so much to the table, so much help with the waves. You can build him in a stun set, get through those waves super easy. He blocks active skills, but that's not all. He actually does a baby version of the decreased speed as well, which will be really good versus the Fire Knight, while also decreasing the attack and having all sorts of stuff, the utility, all the AoE in his kit. So Bellower, a decent option as well. So that kind of covers it for the first ones that kind of pop into my head for a tournament like this and the rare Fire Knight. But if I forgot any, definitely let me know down below. I always enjoy when the comment section becomes a resource for everyone to learn from each other as well. So if you agree with me or disagree with me or think I should have mentioned certain champions or certain compositions, definitely drop that below. I would appreciate it. But yeah, just in general, Raid hasn't really done a good job of adding good rares in the game. I know, kind of a random side tangent, but you know, we used to get some good rares added to the game, like Frozen Banshee and Reliquary Tender and Dagger, like we talked about in the context of this video. But it's really been a while since we've gotten a really good rare champion. They just keep slamming us with legendaries and stuff. So I do hope in 2023 we at least get like a rare or two that would be good to add to the roster for some more utility and options in the early and mid game, instead of just keeping, instead of just continuing to dilute the pool and make it harder for new players to get the champions like Apothecary and Cold Heart and stuff. So alrighty, good luck in the Fire Night tournament if you are choosing to participate in the rare only Fire Night tourney. And as always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.